This is macOS Ken.
Letters to an appellate court. The next software beta parade is on, and Apple's many channels are set to celebrate Black History Month. It is Monday, the 31st of January, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. What do the U.S. Department of Justice, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Microsoft, and over 30 states in the Union have in common? They are all against Apple and its fight with Fortnite publisher Epic. Well, the DOJ isn't against Apple, nor is it for Epic, according to a post from Law 360. Rather, a segment highlighted by Apple 3.0 says the DOJ filed an amicus brief with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on Thursday, supporting neither side in the appeal, but asking the appellant panel to correct what it said were serious issues with the trial court's ruling that could imperil effective antitrust enforcement, especially in the digital economy. So, they're not against Apple. They just think Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers got it wrong when she ruled that Apple's App Store wasn't a monopoly. At about the same time, a piece from Engadget says Microsoft, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and the Attorneys General of 35 states filed briefs supporting Epic's case with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The states argued the district court mistakenly claimed the first section of the Sherman Act, a cornerstone of U.S. antitrust law, didn't apply to unilateral contracts like the terms Apple set for developers. That was part of the DOJ's argument as well, though the piece in Engadget goes further. It has the states and organizations arguing that Judge Gonzalez-Rogers didn't properly weigh the damage of Apple's claimed anti-competitive behavior versus the benefits. Not sure how she was supposed to weigh the damage of something she didn't think existed, but what the heck do I know? Microsoft had other complaints specific to Microsoft, it seems. Engadget indicated that issues alluded to include Apple's effective ban on cloud gaming services, which may hinder one of Mr. Softy's Xbox services. Microsoft also argued that Apple's in-app payment requirement is anti-competitive. And the EFF says the states are right, that Judge Gonzalez-Rogers should have weighed the harm being done to consumers. Also, consumers are kind of stupid. I hate to be the one to break it to you. According to Engadget, the EFF also said the district court made errors when it presumed customers were fully aware of Apple's policies when they joined the company's platform. What does all of this mean? Maybe nothing. The piece says the appeals court isn't obliged to consider the statements. Then again, big names, lots of states, may have some influence. Apple, meanwhile, is striking the pose of the unconcerned. In a statement to CNET, Apple said, "We're optimistic that the ruling will be affirmed on appeal. We remain committed to ensuring the App Store is a safe and trusted marketplace for consumers and a great opportunity for developers." Last week, Apple released a slew of stability and security-focused updates with the outing of iOS and iPadOS 15.3, macOS 12.2, watchOS 8.4, and tvOS 15.3. Then, just about 24 hours later, Apple started the next parade of beta software, and it brings new to-do. Top of the list, controlling the universe. 9to5Mac gave Apple grief last week for the still missing feature Universal Control, despite Apple saying late last year that it would not hit until the spring. Now it appears it will hit that time frame and maybe even hit sooner. You probably remember what it is, but just in case, Universal Control is the feature that is supposed to let one mouse and keyboard work across a number of Macs and iPads in close proximity. A piece from Mac Rumors says Apple has released the first beta of macOS Monterey 12.3 to both developers and public testers. A separate piece from Mac Rumors says the company has also released the first betas for iOS 15.4 and iPadOS 15.4 to both developers and public testers. And this time around, the macOS beta plus the iPadOS beta equals universal control. Now, Apple's got a warning for a specific group of people who might try the latest macOS betas. A piece from Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company is warning macOS Catalina users with File Vault enabled who might try installing the macOS 12.3 or macOS 11.6.4 betas on a separate APFS volume to maybe not. Doing so might cause a boot loop when attempting to log back into the previous volume, according to Apple. The report says on a Mac running macOS High Sierra or later, it is possible to install macOS on a separate APFS volume and then switch between versions of macOS, including betas, as if each were on a separate disk. At first, I couldn't figure out who would do such a thing or why. I'm assuming the answer is developers trying to make sure that their applications work across the latest version of the operating system, as well as previous versions. So, maybe not yet with this one. At least not without reading Apple's support doc with hopefully more information around the issue. While the iPadOS 15.4 beta brings support for universal control, the iOS beta brings a neat new feature of its own. Apple Insider writes up the Face ID with Mask feature. Spelled like it sounds, the piece says the next version of iOS should let users unlock their iPhones while wearing a mask. According to the report, a new onboarding screen in the iOS 15.4 beta prompts users to choose between two versions of Face ID. One is the standard Face ID, and the other is one that works while the user is wearing a mask. While the new feature should be great for surfing and shopping while out and about, there is something of a security trade-off. According to Apple's onboarding, Face ID is most accurate when it's set up for full face recognition only. To use Face ID while wearing a mask, iPhone can recognize the unique features around the eye area to authenticate. Apple Insider says that makes Face ID with mask a bit less secure, though Apple has not spelled out how much less secure that is. In addition to being somewhat less secure, Face ID with mask doesn't go back super far. A piece from the Next Web says the feature will only work for iPhone 12 or later. That report has Apple saying that the feature requires advancements in the True Depth camera system. Those were advancements that apparently didn't make it to the device until 2020. Universal control is neat. Face ID with mask is useful. For fun, the next round of updates should bring close to 40 new emoji. Engadget says Apple is finally starting to include new emojis on iOS with the release of the 15.4 developer beta, though I saw other pieces that indicate their inclusion in last week's iPadOS and macOS betas as well. As detailed last summer, Engadget says, some of the new emojis available are heart hands, troll, biting lip, and melting face. The latter could be a popular option for our troubled times, says Engadget, smiling as your face literally melts. More news in a moment, but first a word from Notion, one workspace for your whole team. I know somebody who has a serious problem at work. Probably I know lots of people who have the same problem. They inform the powers that be by message and by email and in conversation who's doing what at what stage of each project. And the next day, all of those questions are asked again, despite having just been answered. And, by the way, there are a few different places they could look to find the answer themselves. Wouldn't it be neat if there were one place? There is. It's Notion. Notion is an all-in-one team collaboration tool that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and much more into one space that is simple, powerful, and beautifully designed. Not only can everybody work in one place, but the people who need to can have eyes on all of it. But who wants to learn a bunch of new tools? No, you probably won't have to. Notion has over 500 integrated apps, including Google and Slack. So the tools you're already using probably slip right in. For companies of all sizes, Notion provides one central and customizable workspace that can be tailored to fit any team and bring all teams together to get more done and move faster. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. You can check it out on your own and invite as many folks as you want to see how it works. Take the first step toward an organized, happy team today, again, at notion.so. Stoked to say it looks like it is Lunar New Year everywhere. I told you last week of 2 Apple Watch activity challenges for the month of February, the Unity Challenge and the one for Lunar New Year. While I assumed the Unity Challenge would be global, it was unclear whether the Lunar New Year Challenge would be. Personally, I figured it would be limited to the Asia-Pacific region. Happy to say it is not. Just after midnight, Sunday night, Monday morning, my watch tapped me to say, Lunar New Year Challenge 2022, balance this season of relaxation with a little exercise. Do any workout for at least 20 minutes between the 1st of February and the 15th to get this award. This award being the really cool Year of the Tiger virtual medallion that I am totally getting. Add another player to Bad Monkey. Deadline says Alex Moffat of Saturday Night Live is joining the series, headlined by Vince Vaughn and produced by Bill Lawrence. Lawrence used to be best known as a producer and creator on the long-running series Scrubs, until he became a producer and creator on Ted Lasso. No word on when Bad Monkey will premiere. All of a sudden, Apple TV Plus is Murray Bartlett's on-screen home. I told you last week that the White Lotus actor had signed on for the 2nd season of the Rose Byrne Apple series Physical. Now a piece from Variety says Bartlett is part of a group of actors joining the limited series Extrapolations. In case you've forgotten, Variety says the 8-episode show will tell 8 interconnected stories that'll track the worldwide battle for our mutual survival spanning the 21st century and how changes to our planet will affect love, faith, work, and family. In addition to Bartlett, new players include Yara Shahidi, Diane Lane, Heather Graham, Judd Hirsch, and many, many more. They join pre-announced cast members Meryl Streep, Tobey Maguire, Forrest Whitaker, Edward Norton, Daveed Diggs, Cherry Jones, and many, many more. The series is currently in production, according to Variety. No word on when Extrapolations is expected to stream. Apple TV Plus has dropped a bit of bank at Sundance. Apple Insider says Apple's TV arm has spent $15 million at the virtual festival for writer-director Cooper Raif's Cha-Cha Real Smooth. The film showed during the festival, so it is done. In the can, if you will, not in production. That could mean a quick premiere on Apple TV Plus, though that was not the way last year. During last year's Sundance in January 2021, Apple bought the finished film Coda. Didn't hit the streamer until August, though. While Coda cost $10 million more than Cha-Cha Real Smooth, Apple Insider says the $15 million Apple spent was the biggest deal brokered during Sundance this year. If it's a day that ends in Y, it must be time for more award nominations for Apple TV Plus. The Mac Observer says the Cupertino streamer is up for 4 Producers Guild Awards. Funny thing about the Producers Guild Awards, some of them have their own names, or some categories are named after famous producers. And the Apple TV Plus nominees are Coda, up for the Daryl F. Zanuck Award for Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures. Come From Away, up for the award for Outstanding Producer of Televised or Streamed Motion Pictures. The Morning Show, up for the Norman Felton Award for Outstanding Producer of Episodic Television Drama, and Ted Lasso, up for the Danny Thomas Award for Outstanding Producer of Episodic Television Comedy. The Producers Guild Awards will take place on Saturday, the 19th of March, which I'm pretty sure is around the time the next award season begins. And finally today, February is Black History Month, and Apple is focusing its many channels to celebrate the time. The Cupertino Company issued a press release last week announcing several initiatives. On Apple Music, episodes of the show The Message on the station Apple Music One will have Ebro Darden and guests contextualizing contemporary issues around Black health and wellness and highlighting cultural achievements and contributions of Black people. Lots of playlists and music programming to check out as well, all through the month. Apple Fitness Plus will feature new workouts that pay tribute to Black History Month, including playlists dedicated to celebrating Black artists. There will also be a couple of special meditations, dedicated episodes of Time to Walk and Time to Run, and the Unity Challenge, about which I told you last week and which I mentioned earlier. That's the one that awards animated stickers for messages and a virtual medallion for closing your Move ring 7 days in a row. The company is apparently curating a special section of Apple Podcasts dedicated to Black history. Similarly, Apple says Apple Books is focusing on Black health and wellness by highlighting authors who tackle these multidimensional themes. The company says the App Store is spotlighting a full range of apps that are enabling Black health and wellness in all areas of life, from financial to physical and mental well-being, including Black-owned apps like Earth and All Trails. Apple Maps is using its curated guides to help people learn about locations significant to Black history, as well as find Black-owned businesses. The Apple TV app will feature guest-curated collections by prominent Black creators and stars, and Apple News will highlight work by Black journalists. And would it be a thing without something to buy? According to the press release, Apple is launching a special edition Apple Watch Black Unity Braided Solo Loop and matching Unity Lights watch face inspired by Afrofuturism, a philosophy that explores the Black experience through a narrative of science, technology, and self-empowerment. The Unity Lights watch face is beautiful. It is currently available for Apple Watch Series 4 and later, and it's free. The Black Unity Braided Solo Loop is very far from free. It'll run buyers $99. Sales start Tuesday, the 1st of February, in select Apple Store locations, according to the release. They are also available to order now on Apple's site. You might have expected news from the financial front after Apple's record earnings. Short version, between Apple's blowout numbers and indications of record revenue on tap for the current quarter, investors fell in love all over again. Apple shares were up about $11 on Friday. We'll spend some time talking Apple watching analysts on Tuesday. macOS Can, brought to you by me and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Did you say booger on the air again?
No, you can say that on the air out there now. But you can't say...